Hello guys, welcome back to my car. We are not at the homestead right now. I have something very exciting that I need to go pick up. I've mentioned it in vlogs before that our post office has really weird hours. They're open from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is in the middle of that right now, so off we go. Well, I've picked it up successfully. This box is a lot bigger and a lot heavier than I thought it was gonna be. So this great big package is from a company called Fungi Farm. So I had somebody come into my inbox pretty recently and ask me if I have ever tried to grow mushrooms on our homestead, and I have not. I've been very interested in the concept, and they offered to send me out some mushrooms or some spores. So that's what's in this box. Now, they did tell me that they think that the shipment got a little bit delayed by the tornadoes, and that doesn't surprise me. So these might not be as ideal looking as they should be. Am I too lazy to go inside for the scissors? Yes. Whoa, how cool. Okay. Well, this is what's going on in here. And because I really have no idea what I'm looking at, I can't really tell if these are okay or not. Pink oyster mushrooms, wine caps, green oyster mushroom, and then there's 2 bags of lion's mane. This is incredible. I really hope that these are okay. I imagine that this was very expensive to send because these are heavy. This box is heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take pictures and send this their way and make sure that everything looks good. I really don't know what I'm looking at. I need a little bit of guidance on planting them as well, or inoculating. I need guidance for sure. Super exciting. So I was just reviewing the email that I have from Anthony, and he says, one of the strains of mushrooms that I grow really does well in gardens and breaks down leaves, mulch, manure, etc. into plant available nutrients and really helps stimulate plant growth. They are called wine caps. He does suggest to grow some of these in buckets, which I plan to do. I was a little bit worried that he was sending me mushrooms when we are coming into some of the colder months. We do have the greenhouse and we do have this shed that do stay pretty well warm, and he actually said that some of these mushrooms do well when they are like inoculated or started in the cold, which I had no idea. So that's neat. Hopefully he gets back to me pretty soon and I get a little bit of guidance on some next steps. I can also do a little bit of Googling. I'm capable. Mushrooms is something that we do buy from the store when we see them, and it's something that I would love to have like a renewable source for. One of the issues that we have on our farm or on our homestead here is that we have a lot of light that wouldn't be seen by many as an issue, but having basically 0% shade in really 90% of our land can present its challenges to include growing mushrooms, because the soil that we have does tend to dry out and it does tend to get, kind of beat down by the sun. We do have some shady spots where we can grow these, and you can also grow them inside with grow lights, and that's probably what we're going to do this winter, and maybe that's what we can do for the long term as well. Though we do have a few areas that are shaded a good part of the day, so I think that this is going to work out. All right, so Anthony has gotten back to me, and there's a couple different ways that we could grow these mushrooms. There's actually a good handful of ways. Right now, because I'm so green to this process, I'm going to elect for the easiest process that he's listed, and that is countertop growing. So he says, cut a palm-sized X on top of the block. I had to go retrieve something better than the screwdriver. Today, I'm just going to be doing 3 of the blocks. I'm going to do the oyster mushrooms. Might need to go grab an elastic band just to kind of hold this tight. I'm going to do that. Ooh, don't stab yourself, Heather. Palm-sized X. Check. And looks like maybe some of these have already started to kind of fruit, which is cool. So I'm supposed to put these X side down in some water. I have about 1.5 inches of water in this meat tote right here.
what's going on?
The guy with the mushroom stuff, I went and picked it up.
Yeah.
This is like a 60-pound box. You can't grow the mushrooms in pine shavings because they're too acidic, I think it was.
Okay.
But they recommend aspen, and it looks like Ace Hardware carries aspen bedding for small pets. I don't think they have it in the store anyways.
Bye-bye, love you.
Love you too. This is one of the conundrums of living in the middle of nowhere, is to get something like seemingly simple, like the aspen shavings. It can be sort of an ordeal. A lot of times Chewy.com ships really fast. I probably should just get the monster one, right? If I'm gonna keep doing this. Sounds like a good excuse to me. These here are the wine cap mushrooms, and there's lion's mane and then pink oysters, and I think I really would like to grow these in 5-gallon buckets. And in order to do so, I need to layer this like mycelium mulch. I need to layer this with the pasteurized aspen bedding inside a bucket with holes drilled into the side, and then we will have mushrooms growing out the side of the bucket. That's really what I want to do. So once these have soaked in here for a good 2 to 4 hours, I can turn them upright inside a 10-20 tray or some other tray that doesn't have the water in there. I don't want to just flip them over and leave them soaking in the water like this. And then in, like it said, 2 to 3 weeks, we should have harvestable sized oyster mushrooms. That's so cool to me. This is very, very simple. One of the things that scares me a little bit about scattering some of this, mycelium out into the garden is I do have wild, I don't know what mushrooms that come up in my garden and in my compost, and I eventually will get really good at being able to identify these mushrooms, but I'm not there yet, and I don't want to risk accidentally picking something that I'm not sure what it is and making me or my family sick. So this is a very great option for somebody brand new to mushrooms. So I'm gonna link the resources for these mushrooms in the description box. Anthony has his Instagram set up. He's going to have his website set up very, very soon. And stay tuned. It's gonna be a few weeks, couple weeks before we can harvest, but this is going to be a really fun new addition to our homestead.